We've all been there. You're in the security line, your flight is boarding soon, and you see the TSA agent pull your bag for a random check. Suddenly, your mind starts racing. Are my medications packed right? Did I break some new 2025 rule I didn't know about? Is that expensive prescription cream about to get tossed in the trash? Let's make sure you never have to feel that stress again. We are going to completely eliminate that feeling of uncertainty and put you back in control of your health and your travel plans. The rules for traveling with medicine have some subtle but super important updates for 2025, and knowing them is your ticket to a stress-free airport experience. In this guide, I'm breaking down the exact step-by-step plan you need to fly through security with total confidence. We're covering everything from pills and liquids to the international customs laws that can wreck your trip if you're not careful. So stick with me, because we're about to tackle the single biggest mistake travelers make, and the one rule that will save you from a travel nightmare. All right, let's get straight to it. Before we get into labels, liquids, or what the TSA allows, there's one rule that trumps all the others. Think of it as the prime directive of traveling with medicine. And it's this: never, ever pack your essential medications in a checked bag. Let me say that again, because it's that critical. Do not, under any circumstances, put vital medications in the luggage you're checking. Your meds belong in your personal item, the backpack or purse that stays with you and fits under the seat. If you can help it, don't even put them in your rolling carry-on. Why? Because more and more airlines are forcing passengers to gate-check roller bags on full flights. Think about what that actually means. Lost luggage isn't a travel myth. It happens all the time. Imagine you land on time, but your bag with your heart medication or insulin doesn't. It might show up tomorrow, or in 3 days, or maybe not at all. Now you're in a new city or a foreign country, scrambling to find a doctor and get an emergency prescription, all while paying out of pocket. It's a vacation killer and a potential health crisis. This one simple habit, keeping your health essentials on your person, is your best defense against travel chaos. Everything else is about navigating security. This is about protecting your well-being. Make it a reflex. When you pack, meds go in the personal item first. Okay, with the golden rule locked in, let's talk about pills. This is where a lot of people get tripped up, usually on one question. Can I use my handy weekly pill organizer, or do I need to haul along all the original pharmacy bottles? The answer completely depends on where you're flying. First up, domestic U.S. travel. If you're flying within the United States, the TSA is actually pretty chill about this. Their main job is security, not playing pharmacist. So, for domestic flights, you are allowed to use a pill organizer. They don't require you to keep your pills in the original prescription bottles. However, and this is a big however, just because it's allowed doesn't mean it's the smartest move. Having your pills in their original, clearly labeled bottles makes the screening process way faster. A TSA agent sees a bottle with your name and the doctor's info and immediately knows what's up. An organizer full of mystery pills could, in rare cases, lead to extra questions and delays. So, for domestic trips, organizers are fine, but original bottles are better for a smooth ride. Next, international travel. This is where the rules get serious, and it's not the time to take chances. When you fly to another country, you really need to carry your medication in its original, pharmacy-labeled container. For international customs, a pill organizer can be a major red flag. To a foreign official who doesn't know you, a box of loose, unidentified pills looks suspicious, and at worst could be mistaken for illegal drugs. The original bottle is your proof of legitimacy. It shows what the medicine is, that it was prescribed to you, and who your doctor is. It's also a good idea to make sure the name on the bottle matches the name on your passport. So to keep it simple, flying in the US. A pill organizer is probably okay, but bottles are better. Flying internationally? Original, labeled bottles are the only way to go. Period. This is probably the biggest source of airport anxiety out there. We've had the TSA's 311 liquids rule hammered into our heads for years. All liquids must be in 3.4-ounce, 100 milliliters, bottles or smaller. And all of those have to fit in one tiny quart-sized bag. People get so worried they end up tossing out expensive prescription creams at security. Here's the good news I want you to remember. For 2025, medically necessary liquids, gels, and aerosols are exempt from the 3.4-ounce liquid rule. Let that sink in. The TSA allows you to carry liquid medications in quantities that are reasonable for your trip. This is a total game changer, but you have to know how to use this exemption. This covers a huge range of things: prescription cough syrups, over-the-counter liquids like saline solution, injectable medicines and pre-filled pens, prescription creams, gels, and ointments. Even ice or gel packs needed to keep your medication cool are allowed. The key to making this work is simple. Separate and declare. As you get to the security checkpoint, take your medical liquids out of your bag. Put them in their own separate clear bag to signal that they're not your regular toiletries. Then just give the TSA officer a heads up. Say something like, "Hi, I have some liquid medications to declare." They'll screen them separately. If you're not comfortable with your medication going through an X-ray, you have the right to request a visual inspection instead. Just ask politely. The mistake people make is trying to hide their medical liquids, which just leads to a bag search and delays when the scanner flags them. Be open and upfront, and you can bring the liquids you need without any fear. Traveling with things that could look dangerous, like needles or medical devices, adds another layer of stress. But just like with liquids, the TSA has clear procedures for this. Let's start with needles and syringes. They are absolutely allowed on a plane, but with one condition. They have to be with the medication they're for. So if you have syringes, you must also have the labeled vial of insulin or other drug they go with. Packing syringes by themselves might raise eyebrows, but when they're paired with the medicine, it's clear what they're for. It's always smart to keep them in a hard case, like a travel sharps container, to keep them safe. The same goes for other medical devices. Things like insulin pumps, continuous glucose monitors, CGMs, EpiPens, and inhalers are all good to go. If you're wearing a device like a pump or CGM, just let the TSA officer know before you go through screening. You don't have to remove it, and you can always request a pat-down if you're worried about the body scanner interfering with your device. This is where a fantastic and underused tool comes in, the TSA Cares program. It's a helpline you can call 72 hours before your flight to get help with medical conditions or devices. They can answer your specific questions and even arrange for a support specialist to help you at the airport. It's a free service designed to make things easier. The theme here is communication. Don't be afraid to speak up. Just calmly explaining, "I'm wearing an insulin pump," or "This bag has my injectable medication," makes everything smoother for everyone. Okay, quick pause. Hopefully you're already feeling way more confident about your next trip. If this info has been helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. I put out new travel guides every week to help you travel smarter and safer. Your support lets me create more guides just like this one. Now let's get back to it. We've been focused on prescriptions, but what about the basics? The Advil for a headache, the Benadryl for surprise allergies, or the Imodium for, These over-the-counter meds are the backbone of any good travel first aid kit. For domestic U.S. travel, the rules are super relaxed. You can bring as many OTC pills like Tylenol or allergy meds as you want. The TSA doesn't care about them. You can keep them in their original bottles or toss them in an organizer, your choice. For liquid OTCs, the same medical exemption applies. A big bottle of contact solution or cough syrup is fine as long as you declare it. But the second your flight is international, you need to be much more careful, even with something that seems harmless. This is a huge blind spot for many travelers. You can't just assume that a drug you buy at CVS is legal everywhere. Here are a few real-world examples. Pseudoephedrine. This is the main ingredient in Sudafed. It's banned in several countries, like Japan, because it can be used to make meth. Bringing it into Japan can get you into serious trouble. Codeine. Some painkillers and cough syrups with codeine are treated as dangerous narcotics in countries like Greece and the UAE. Diphenhydramine. This is what's in Benadryl. While it's everywhere in the US, it might be restricted in other countries. The lesson is critical. For any international trip, you must research every single medication you plan to bring, even the OTC stuff. A quick search on your destination country's embassy website for restricted medications is a non-negotiable part of your travel prep. This brings us to the trickiest part of traveling with meds, international customs. Getting through TSA is only half the battle. When you land, you're playing by a different country's rules, and "I didn't know" isn't an excuse. To get through this successfully, you need what I call the documentation Trinity. It's 3 documents you should have for every prescription medication you take abroad. 1. Original, labeled containers. We've covered this, but it's the foundation. No pill organizers. This proves what the medication is. 2. Copies of your prescriptions. Get a paper copy of the actual prescription from your doctor or pharmacy for each medication. It's another layer of proof. 3. A signed and dated doctor's letter. This is your secret weapon. A formal letter from your doctor is essential. especially if you take a controlled substance or a large quantity of medication. The letter should be on official letterhead and state your full name and date of birth, the brand and generic name of the medication, the medical condition it treats, your dosage and the total amount you're carrying, your doctor's name, contact info, and signature. For bonus points, consider getting it translated into the language of the country you're visiting. Now, let's talk about the highest risk category, controlled substances. This includes things like ADHD medications, Adderall, Ritalin, anti-anxiety meds, Xanax, Valium, strong painkillers, and some sleep aids. If you take any of these, you absolutely must do your homework. Contact the embassy or consulate of your destination country and any country you have a layover in. Some countries require you to apply for a special permit ahead of time. Others limit you to a 30-day supply. And in some places, the medication might be completely banned. Don't risk it. A single phone call to an embassy can save you from a nightmare scenario. The International Narcotics Control Board, INCB, has a database of country regulations, which is a good place to start, but always confirm with the embassy directly because rules can change. You've done your research, you've got your documents, now let's pack like a pro. The best way to do this is to create a dedicated medical kit. Use a separate, clear bag for all your medications and supplies. This includes your pill bottles, any liquids, your doctor's letter, and prescriptions. When you get to security, you can pull out this one organized kit and place it in a bin by itself. This makes screening super easy for the TSA. Before you leave, do a final check. Did you pack enough medicine for the entire trip, plus at least a week extra? Delays and cancellations happen. That buffer is essential. Getting a US prescription filled overseas is next to impossible. Finally, have both a physical and a digital backup of your documents. Keep the paper copies in your medical kit. Then take photos of everything and save them to a cloud service like Google Drive and also directly on your phone. If your bag gets lost, that digital backup will be a lifesaver. So that heart-pounding feeling in the security line, the fear of losing your essential medication, let's make that a thing of the past. When you're prepared, you're in control. Here's a quick recap of the core principles for 2025. The golden rule: always keep your meds in your personal bag. Pills: use original labeled bottles, especially when you fly internationally. Liquids: your medical liquids are exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule, but you have to declare them. International: this is the big one. Research your destination's laws and carry the right documents. Traveling with medical needs doesn't have to be stressful. With a little prep, you can walk into that airport with confidence, knowing your health is protected. You can finally focus on what really matters, the adventure that's waiting for you. If this guide helped you, hit that like button to let me know. And be sure to subscribe for more essential travel guides for 2025. Now, check out my other video on the screen for more tips on mastering airport security. Travel safe and travel smart.